What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a Selesnya Enchantments deck. Oh no! Another Selesnya Enchantments deck. Every single content creator on YouTube has put a deck up. I'm seeing it on the ladder about 1 million times a day. Well, I know. I think these things myself, which is why I'm even voicing them. But, you know, I'm on holiday right now. As you're watching this, I'm in London. I'm pre-recording this from the past. So I just needed some quick and easy kind of semi-obvious brews to just put up on the channel to cover the time while I'm away in the UK. And, you know, while I'm at it, let's see if there's any innovation that is still available to be made in these brews that feel very set in stone. And so, without further ado, let's jump into my version of Selesnya Enchantments brew. Of course, we are splashing a few other colors to make Leyline Binding groovy. So we've got 3 Jetmir's Gardens and 2 Spara's Headquarters to bring our potential Leyline Binding domain cost down significantly. But then the rest of the deck is just Selesnya, right? So the new little bits and pieces of tech have been Teaching of the Kirin, which mills cards, but because the deck has so many ways of either getting things back from the graveyard or things that come back from the graveyard of their own volition, that's actually been fine. You kind of want to mill those cards. And then the little spirit token is great. It synergizes nicely with the spirits from Hallowed Haunting and with Katilda, because she gets +1/+1 for each spirit and or enchantment in play, so very nice. And then you get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control, which is usually the Jukai Naturalist. You know, the bigger you can get your life linker in the early game, that's obviously quite nice. And then it comes back as this snake monk, the Kirin touched Orochi, which neither here nor there. I mean, it can be used to exile creature cards from graveyards. You know, that's really the main takeaway for me. You can also exile non-creatures, and then you put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. But I'm more interested in exiling reanimation targets from your Jund decks and things like that, if you can ever get there with this card. And then you get to make a little 1/1 colorless spirit creature token, which again synergizes with all the things I've already mentioned. Then the other new little bits of tech is Rite of Harmony, a card that saw almost no play during its time in Standard, and now it's suddenly like found a really good home because of these enchantment sagas from Kamigawa that, you know, you have to go watch Chris Bothello, his video on this deck. His is very different from mine, but there's a video up on his channel where he draws like 10 cards in one turn off of this thing. Like you put a stop on your upkeep and you wait for the final chapter on these things to go off, and you cast Rite of Harmony at instant speed, and then all of these sagas at the final chapter get exiled and then come back onto the battlefield as creatures. So you get a trigger off of your Rite of Harmony straight away, and then you usually play another couple of things. And if you've got Hallowed Haunting in play, you know, even something just as simple as casting Rite of Harmony and then playing Teachings of the Kirin, it is an enchantment, and then it makes a 1/1 creature. So you'll just be drawing 2 cards for your 2 mana investment. Just from that alone is wow. The list goes on. I mean, Michiko's Reign of Truth is another one of these sagas that becomes a creature in the end. So you get the initial trigger off of casting the enchantment, but then potentially later in the game when it comes back as a portrait of Michiko, you get... You see where I'm going with this. I hope I've done a fairly good job of explaining that Rite of Harmony can be an incredible card draw engine in a deck like this, especially if you have Hallowed Haunting in play. And you do the thing again when you put a stop on the upkeep, like I just described, and you've already got the Hallowed Haunting down. You cast your Rite of Harmony, and then something flips, like I don't know, your Michiko or your Restoration, and then you also play a teachings and something else, and you know, of course you can often multiple cast enchantments when you've got Jukai Naturalist in play, or multiple copies of Jukai Naturalist in play, because of the reduction in the cost of casting enchantments. So, you know, it can spiral out of control very, very quickly, and you can draw half your library with this card. And I've you know, you'll have to just go and watch Othello if you don't believe me. The decisions I'm struggling with are like maybe playing a third one, but because of the flashback, I've been okay with just running 2, and because we also have some additional card draw through the Spirited Companion, so it's been okay just as is. And that's the deck, really. Other things that will come back, or, you know, things that we're happy to mill with the Chapter 1 of Teachings of the Kirin, are things like Kami of Transience, which, even though it ends up in the graveyard, if another one of your enchantments dies, you can bring it back to your hand and cast it again. Of course, Katilda, Rising Dawn, which is what we really want on the battlefield, will get milled, and then you can cast it for its Disturb cost. At that point, it will be an enchantment, so if you've got Jukai Naturalist or 2 in play, instead of having to pay 5 for that Disturb cost... Oh no, the Disturb, sorry, that's right. It's not a casting cost, it's a Disturb cost. So that will stay the same regardless, which is unfortunate. But anyway, plenty of things that we're okay to mill. And we're not just only, you know, not all of them come back by themselves, like Katilda and Kami of Transience, but some of them you can bring back with the Chapter 2 of the Restoration of Eiganjo. But I feel like I don't really need to talk too much more about this deck. You've seen plenty of it up and down the ladder all the time in the last couple of days in various different permutations. This is my version. I hope you like it. And without too much blabbing further, I think it's about time that we jump into some games. Bam, bada boom, bada boom, bam, bam, bam. Let's go. I haven't played this. Like, I've done maybe 3 test matches. I you know, I'm not the type that really plays or wants to put up like super meta decks on my channel too often. I try to break the meta or come up with off meta stuff, or you know, you know me. It's not really my cup of tea, but I thought, again, since I'm going to be away for a little while, mono black. Michiko's, 3 of them in the opening hand. Sure thing. Please play Shieldred. Please play Shieldred. 3 tenacious underdogs and a bankbuster. Wowza. Okay, cool. Let's gain some life. And play another 2 more Michiko's Reigns of Truths. Let's gain a bunch more life. That's a spicy meatball. Back up to 26. We may be able to actually exile you with the Kirin next turn.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick.
Sure. Whatevs, mate.
You go.
Oh. From a graveyard. Why can't I pick, oh, cancel. Oops. Creature card. Cool. $33 life. I mean, maybe you should just scoop it up. Mr. Blackman, Mr. Magistor. Or have you got a Mito Massacre? Would be pretty badass. I think it would just kill everything at this point, because the portrait would get less. Yeah, there we go. Pity.
Don't overthink things.
Woo! Get stuffed. Thank goodness. Nothing makes me happier than getting around a Mito Massacre every single time. They've always got it. So when you do, I am a happy little chappy. Pretty disgusting deck. I mean, I guess it's up to Croaky's, right? He was doing that money ball, or whatever he was calling it, baller magic, where he was looking at the stats for each individual card in a specific deck. Gabagool. And decided that the Michiko's was not worth playing because the win rates were bad with it and things, but honestly, it's so good. I don't whatever. To each their own, right? Falco Spara, isn't that right? Oh, one a red. That's pretty problematic. We can't play the Naturalist out, otherwise it's just gonna be pretty much straight away removed by a play with fire. What? 2 Hallowed Hauntings milled. But that's actually kind of okay, honestly. I don't think we're gonna have the time to play that card in this game. At least it's not a creature.
Go ahead, fight me as hard as you can, cause I'm real stubborn. Give a toast? I'd love to.
I should have played the green.
So I'm a little hot-headed. So what?
Free teachings. Eh. Eh. We need to get rid of this thing before it gets to 7, that's for sure.
We should all follow our hearts.
I wonder if he goes face with the lightning strike. So now whatever dies, we can't really get back. Because of the kimono. Okay. That's what I was looking for. So the casting cost is reduced. Badoosh. The disturb cost is reduced
I'm wiped out.
through the Naturalist. That was exactly what we needed to turn this game around. Like, now it's GG. 11-11 with lifelink against mono red is bye-bye. Off you go. End of story. Let's give them a little premature good game. I will block with the Architect. Make another Spirit. Bye-bye now. I was a little worried for a little second, but ultimately the life gain there against mono red is just too good. So happy we milled that, and so happy that there was the cost reduction. Otherwise we wouldn't have had the mana, and then I don't know if we would have survived another turn. I mean, probably, but would have been harder. Sure. Another mono black. Yawn. Somebody in Southeast Asia by the looks of things. Aha! Mr. Boros. How nice of you to stop by. Okay, this is the deck I showcased yesterday, I believe. Not the best things to mull. Okay, and yeah, it's definitely the one. He's gonna try and use chapter 2 to put the warden guy in the graveyard. I would have killed the spirit instead of blocking the 3/3, but that's just me. So Wandering Emperor, potentially. Cathartic Pyre. He doesn't have the reanimation target in the yard, and he's down to 4. I think we've just got him, basically. If he uses Wandering Emperor on our Kami of Transience, this one, then I would rather put the +1/+1 counter here, I guess. There she blows.
Feel the energy of battle, then guide like
And you block the 2/2 and take
what you get for hurting my people.
5. You've either got a sweeper or it's GG, my friend.
Years of training. For guards, to me. Anyone
Cool.
who harms my people must contend with me. My judgment is
Alright guys, I think we don't need to see much more of that. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter one. Selesnya Enchantments, everybody. It's busted. Like, so damn busted. Especially in best of 1, of course. Leyline Binding didn't really come into play too often there, and more I'm starting to think that Hallowed Haunting, there could be something better that we can do in that slot, honestly. But for now, this is my version that I managed to cook up on short notice, and as you can see, I mean, we didn't even get to cast Rite of Harmony once. We didn't cast a single Hallowed Haunting. The rest of the deck was just good enough as it is, humming along just as well as it has ever since Kamigawa Neon Dynasty came out, really. Some cool little bits and bobs of new tech, but the core, the shell, the main essence of the brew is still the same and absolutely shreds right now. It's in a very good position. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it. If you want to win a lot, I think this is a fairly cheap deck to expand into. I say that because you wouldn't even have to craft a Leyline Binding. You just go more heavy on the Borrowed Times and the Circle of Confinements, and that would mean that the majority of the cards in the deck are all ones that you probably already have because they're like from 3 or 4 sets ago. And so, very cheap. If you want to go for my specific version, all you would need to craft from the new set is Leyline Binding. Otherwise, everything else is already probably in your collection. So that's going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really means the world to me, especially those of you who stick around right until the end of the videos. You are my favorite people in the whole wide world. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will see you all tomorrow with another fresh brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.